Alright, so today I have these debris forks for a tractor to share. YITAMOTOR sent this over for me to try out. I figured I could probably use something like this around here, so let's go ahead and try it out. Now this weighs about 75 pounds, or 76 pounds according to the label here. Today is the calm before the storm. We actually have sun for the first time in a couple of weeks, and it's quite literally the calm before the storm. We do have a storm expected to hit here in the next couple of days. They're saying up to 5 inches in the region, and probably double that here on my property up here in the hills. So I'm trying to get prepared for that as well today. So that's always fun. I got to go and get supplies and water and propane and all that stuff to get ready. So it looks like this is mostly put together, so that's good. So it looks like this one is mostly ready right out of the box. I need to find a use for styrofoam. I don't know if anybody has any suggestions, but I do get a lot of styrofoam, and I hate sending it to the landfill. I'd like to find a way to recycle it somehow. When I was kicked out of my rental in June, I had to pretty much sell everything I had, just about. The rest of it went in storage. So I'm going to need all new furniture once the house is ready. That means a lot more styrofoam. No instructions. Alright, so this one didn't have any instructions, but it should be pretty easy to figure out just by looking at the pictures. Looks like we would need this to go through here. And then you're going to take the bolts. Don't want to lose those little ones here. So then we got to put the bolts underneath here into this big one. That way we have a flat spot or a flat surface that clamps down. Then we'll repeat on the other side. And then we got these through here. At least that's what it looked like on the photos. Also probably better to wear the gloves. There's a bit of grease on these. I don't know if I like these bolts the way they are. I'm guessing they're just more just to be anchoring it or just to be clamping it down anyway. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this on the tractor, on the bucket. Like I said, this is 76 pounds, so if it's a little heavy, get help. All right, so now we just got to get these nice and tight. I'm gonna make sure it's a little even. All right, let's go try this out. So I definitely think the larger piles, my grapple would be better for this kind of stuff. It can handle some weight though. Well, I guess that's a way to rip up your soil. Ah. Make sure they're on there nice and tight. Oh shit. Alright, so it's definitely going to depend on the type of debris that you're trying to move with it. I think it's going to work for a lot of things. One of the issues that I have right now, if you were able to see it in the camera, my tractor was sliding a lot. It was hard to really maneuver around here because this mud is just so slippery and thick right now. But that is the downside right now because of all the rain we're getting, and there's nothing to really control the mud. Now with the debris forks, I did lose them once over there. I didn't have them bolted on completely, And I also didn't have them all the way up against the bucket, so definitely keep that in mind when you are putting it on. Make sure that you put your bucket up just a little bit. Make sure you get all the way like I did not. And just make sure it's really nice and tight and clamped down. But these ones, I believe, are the 48-inch debris forks. They're supposed to handle up to 2,500 pounds. And they're pretty solid. They're pretty heavy for a small set of forks. I mean, they're 76 pounds just for that. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's a nice little attachment, at least for the cost. I got to double check what the cost was on this, but they were pretty reasonable. I know the forks and stuff that you get from the dealer are very, very expensive. The forklift forks that I got, they were, I want to say, almost $1,000. So when you compare cost with different things, and depending on what you're going to use it for, this might be a really good idea for you. I think it will definitely help with some of the debris stuff. It's not going to help with everything. It did help with being able to lift the logs and stuff and get them up into the bucket. And I could go in and I could scoop underneath the trees and stuff maybe and get some of that debris as well. But I will put a link down below if you're interested in getting one of these yourself. Mine came from TikTok Shop, but it is available on Amazon. It might be available on Walmart. I'm not 100% sure on that. I haven't actually checked. I'll put a link to both or all of them that are available. And sometimes, depending on where you get it, it's cheaper too. Sometimes TikTok is cheaper, sometimes Amazon's cheaper. So definitely keep that in mind and look at both of them. I need to get some better boots for out here as well. But some of my previous videos where I thought that was mostly vines and everything, I was completely wrong. It is a bunch of this crap. When they harvested the timber on this land, they left a ton of debris and logs and stuff down here. And there's a bunch of large stumps. Like there's a large stump, a couple of them that I can't even budge with the tractor. It's not powerful enough for those. They're so big and heavy. I don't know if they were like big cedars. And then the vines just kind of grew up and over it, plus all the dirt and stuff. So it's just been an accumulation. And it's going to take a while. I did all of this, but the mud and the rain makes it a lot more difficult to deal with now. So I'll probably have to wait until spring to get a lot of this stuff done. But anyway, that's going to be my quick demo for the YITAMOTOR forks. I think they're pretty cool. Easy to use, easy to clamp on, and they are a lot more affordable than a lot of other options out there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.